Welcome to the GTN Show, brought to you from our local pub. And we have a very special show today because today we are rounding out 2019 and bringing in 2020.
Yes, Happy New Year to all of you guys, and what a year it has been. So big, in fact, that we thought we'd bring you the 2019 GTN Triathlon Awards.
Yeah, and we're going to be giving you our best athlete of the year, the best finish, the most innovative product. We're also going to have Cam Wurf's best Instagram post, and so on and so on.
Yeah, and not forgetting also, we need to announce some of our own personal plans for 2020. And whilst we're at it, I guess we should make some predictions too.
Wow, was that just in a walla?
I was thinking innovative.
Oh yeah, it's so awful, isn't it, when you get stuck a word.
You did it.
I did wonder. Innovative. Is innovative. F***'s sake. An innovative. I massacred it once more.
It's time to celebrate with the GTN 2019 Triathlon Awards, and we've got some brilliant ones. Some are sensible, some are less so, but at the end of the day, we're going to give you our opinion, but we also want you guys to get involved.
Yeah, so in the description below, you can let us know what you think is the winning entrant, I suppose, for each of these categories that we've come up with.
And to narrow it all down, we have selected the pro field. Otherwise, I guess we'd be here all day picking out Kirk from our local triathlon club and Harry.
Putting ourselves first, I think, yeah.
Yeah, which we probably would, to be honest. So let's crack on here without any further ado. So, best finish of 2019, and we've got three choices here.
Yeah, the runners-up are, we've got the Tokyo Test event where we had Jess Learmonth and
Georgia Taylor
Brown holding hands across the finish line. We've also got the test event when it was a pretty close finish between Tyler Misselschork, I think I've got it, and Casper Stornes. And then the third option, oh, these names, words.
Tizavaris.
Thank you, Fraser. Tizavaris ITU Triathlon World Cup for the men's and the women's races. I think you guys just made me read those out on purpose.
You did well, though.
You did very well, yeah. It was a little test for you. The Tizavaris.
It was the closest.
All right, stop showing off. You two can say it.
It was good, though. That was a good finish, wasn't it, Fraser?
It was an actual head-on sprint finish. 3 men,
I think that's
blanket,
right. Yeah.
And I'm actually forgetting how many women.
Well, it was probably about 5 or 6 of them coming into the finish line, but it was like literally they're throwing themselves at the line, so that was awesome. But the standout one for me this year was the Tokyo Test event for the women when Georgia and Jess crossed the line hand in hand. I know, controversial, they got disqualified, but the sportsmanship was just brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't win the event, but they've won our vote. I'm sure that's going to make them feel slightly better, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. They did well.
But don't be biased by us, though. Make sure you let us know in the form. But anyway, we've got quite a few more to go still.
All right, let's crack on. So, Triathlete of the Year for the women.
Go on, Fraser.
Annie Haug, Lucy Charles, Katie Zaferes, and finally, can't forget Daniela Ruth.
Yeah, well, a pretty strong mix, and it's been an impressive year. And we had a bit of a debate about this one before when we actually wrote them down, and I think it's actually going to go towards ITU for Katie Zaferes for us this year.
I think so. I mean, it was very close. Obviously, Annie Haug, that performance at Kona was incredible. But I guess, I mean, going by previous
Fraser's
years,
predictions, do you mean?
Well, yes, Fraser saying every previous Kona podium finisher will win the Ironman World Championship.
Look it up, it's fact.
But Katie Zaferes this year, just unstoppable.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely incredible.
I mean, she was beaten, wasn't she?
She was, yes,
and I can't remember where,
it wasn't far off.
One out of all of the races, pretty much.
And she had a crash at the test event as well,
exactly.
came back and then won again.
So we would be really
we're not
misplaced not to give it to Katie, would we?
But
not to sway you, though.
Yeah,
Make your own
exactly.
decision. Triathlete of the Year for the men. So we've got Vincent Louis, Jan Frodeno, Gustave Eden, and Mario Mola.
yeah, again, a good mix there of actual ITU and long distance racing, which is nice, although
Is that a hint towards who our winner's going to be?
it could be. Well, it's not our winner, it's just our thoughts, Fraser.
It is right now.
Yes, I mean, I definitely did go with Gustave Eden, and I think we were pretty unanimous on that decision, weren't we? Just, coming fourth at the World Champs in ITU and then winning on a road bike the Ironman 70.3 World Champs.
Yeah, but moreover, I was compelled by the fact that if you had said to me a Norwegian's going to win the race, I'd be like, yeah, cool, Christian Blumenfeld. but it wasn't Christian Blumenfeld at all. So just the surprise nature, for me at least, absolutely agree with you. The fact that he was on a road bike, the fact that he'd done so well the week before, but...
and also not forgetting, we're going on talking about Christian Blumenfeld, he is the current Ironman 70.3 world record holder from, previous year, and now again he's lowered the new. Amazing. So, and
he had won the grand final the week before, so if anybody was absolutely on form, then
I guess the hill got in the way for him though, didn't it, really?
Yeah, you can tell him that.
Again, a make your own decision here. But best newcomer now, so we have selected just 3 here. So we've got Imogen Simmons, Alex Yee and Hayden Wild. Now let's chat about Hayden to start off with, because he's had a phenomenal year.
Yeah, I mean, they're all young, to be fair, relative
compared
to
me.
us,
yeah, I mean, it's relative, Fraser.
But Hayden seems to have just burst on the scene this year, and with WTS races has been thereabouts in almost all of them. I remember at the WTS at the start of the season in Abu Dhabi, he was just off the front, and it was, is he going to get caught? Is he going to get caught? And he was actually caught by LG.
He's got quite an exciting background as well, because he actually comes from off-road racing, so Xterra.
Yeah, you were telling me that.
So he's actually got a lot of skill on the bike. He's really class athlete. So it's the swim that he's had to work on. I remember seeing something, he says Richard Murray is one of his idols, just because obviously they come out together on the swim, and the fact that Richard's done so well, and I mean Hayden's excelled.
And he almost won that test event in Tokyo. He's been there or thereabouts in so many of the races.
Well, I mean, we've also got Imogen Simmons and Alex Yee. So Imogen Simmons, to us, it really did seem like she sprung onto the scene this year with, was it a win at Frankfurt?
No, she was second in Frankfurt. That was her first Ironman.
Yeah, so that means your first Ironman, and she's just been consistent, hasn't she? And then going to Kona, I think lots of people thought, she'd just sort of, all go a bit pear-shaped. But we're top 10?
Absolutely, yeah.
Just outside, but still a brilliant result. Absolutely, I know. I mean,
she slipped outside, but still very good. But I think my vote goes with Alex Yee. His first race out in Abu Dhabi at the beginning of the year in the WTS race was just phenomenal. Came down to just a few seconds between him and Mario Mola.
Pesky Mario, he's just won all these races and just snuck it out.
But the run splits this guy can post are insane. So I'm very excited to see where things go. So my vote goes with him. I think that's again fairly unanimous. Now for most exciting race of the year, and we've been pretty boring here, to be honest. We've got Ironman World Championships, Ironman 70.3 World Champs, the Championship, which is one of the challenge races, and the WTS Grand Final.
But you say we're being boring. Those are the big races across non-drafting and draft legal racing.
And people peak for, so tend to get the most exciting racing.
They should be good. Which one are we picking?
This is the harder one, I think, to choose from. But I mean, you guys were there. I'm sort of going biased towards 70.3 Worlds because I was there. But I think actually it is swaying towards Kona because there were a few unexpected. It was almost like a change in the era of potentially of Ironman. So it's like I'm excited to see what's going to happen next year as a result of this year.
Yeah, I was particularly surprised to see. I mean, we were there on the ground, and I did not even realise that Jan Frodeno was on record-breaking terrain until it was pretty much the finish line, and it was really apparent that, goodness, he's going to break this again. It's only broken last year. Yeah. And broken again.
Yeah, I must say, actually, when Patrick was doing it, there was a lot of talk on the ground about it. This year, you're right. It wasn't until he was literally coming into the last maybe 10K, everyone was like, hang about. Whoa, this record might be broken.
How fast is he going? But Nice was incredible too, because I certainly watched that and thought, Alistair Brownlee heading off on the run, done. Because he peaked so he talked so openly about peaking for it.
But let's not forget the women either. And again, like Kona, I guess you could say it's almost the changing of an era. Daniela didn't win this year, which I mean the pressure she goes in with, but she still managed to complete it, and had a respectable. I think she was 13th. But the fact that was all changing, and we thought if Daniela's not going to win, Lucy's going to win, but no, she didn't. So.
And actually, I thought the women's race was perhaps actually more exciting than the men's race. The men's race, you saw, once Ali dropped off on the bike, Jan ploughed ahead. Okay, we sort of knew the result, and maybe Tim O'Donnell and stuff, that was quite exciting. But then actually, with the women's race, you had Daniela Blemmel coming through on the bike. She pulled through Annie Haug. Annie Haug got dropped. She got herself back on. And then suddenly Annie Haug blitzes past Lucy. Lucy then gets past, and then she comes back. It was really exciting. So I'm going to say Ironman World Championships.
Yeah, I'm happy with that one.
Done.
Should we go? Yeah, okay. All right, most unexpected result of the year. So we have Gustave Eden, the 70.3 World Championships we just spoke about. Annie Haug, the Ironman World Championships. Sky Munch at the Frankfurt Ironman race. And then Beth Potter at the European Champs, the ITU European
Well, I'm
Champs.
glad we got a Scot in there somewhere. I mean, it wouldn't be a roundup without some sort of Scottish athlete there. That actually was a fantastic result, all joking aside. And I know we're talking a lot about the IT side of racing, but there's been some brilliant racing happening. And Beth comes from a fantastic running pedigree. She ran at the Rio Olympics on 10K on the track, so has an incredible foot speed. But obviously her swim on her bike hadn't until perhaps this season been quick enough.
Yeah, I mean, I used to train with Beth back in the day in Loughborough, and to think that she would be doing triathlon is mind-blowing. And she's
really pleased for her.
Absolutely crushed it. That was amazing. So yeah, totally unexpected.
Are you guys voting for Beth?
I am. Although it wasn't unexpected, I thought Gustave was going to go to 70.3 Worlds and do very well, and maybe wasn't expecting him to win. Again,
like we say, we've kind of it's been, I think, along with Annie Haug's, both of them are very good athletes, and we're not saying we weren't rating them beforehand, but I think we thought there was a few who might just.
And that was the first one I wrote down when I said most unexpected result of the year, Gustave. It just stood out to me.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Innovative product of the year. So we've got the Incus device, which is used for swimming, so we can look at the rotation and roll in your stroke and a lot of metrics there. We've got the Form goggles, which is an augmented reality display within the lens of your goggles. Very exciting. We got the Cervelo PX series, so a bit of a shake-up in the P5X series and whatnot with the P3X. And then, of course, we've got the Nike ZoomX Vaporflight Next Percents.
Well, I think those have had the biggest effect on what we've witnessed in sport this year, haven't they? The shoes, everyone's talking about them still, and we're coming to the end of this season, and it just seems that if you look at any middle to long distance running race, the winners, the top 10 even, are wearing those shoes. So they've made a pretty big impact on the way sport is moving.
Couldn't agree more, and I would really like to try a set at some point.
We keep hinting enough, someone might just send us a pair.
Pop in the post. But the Form goggles, tried those, think they're superb. I mean, it's hard to get swimming exciting, isn't it, if we're honest? But that made me think, cool, that was fun. Really enjoyed my swim session with those on.
The cool thing actually with the Incus as well is that it's coming into cycling as well, so you can actually start looking at your bike position. So it's not just swimming, roll, and so you can start looking at how low your back is, the angles and stuff like that.
Even do it for running. They're trying to do it for the whole of triathlon, aren't they?
Yeah. So you've got like tri-suits you can wear it in. Yeah, so they're really cool. I think it sounds like we're going the Nike shoes. Yeah, they've made quite an impact this year.
We've been influenced by it, haven't we, for sure?
Yeah, well, even though we haven't even worn them. All right, next one, a bit of a fun one here. So we've got the the best Cam Wurf post. Now we all know Cam loves to troll and just scroll through Instagram and just poke fun at some of his fellow pro athletes, and he does give us a giggle or two.
I'd love to know if he's got particular people he follows, Lionel perhaps, on some sort of notification, because he just seems to know when they've posted and have a witty response.
Yeah, he's good with a witty response for sure, but also in person.
Yeah, so we've picked out a few kind of categories. So we've got, is it the Lionel Sanders fanboy post? So we've got a particular one here. We can remember in Kona, he went along to Lionel's booth, I think it was at the Wahoo stand. Lionel was doing
minding his own business, doing a turbo trainer session, wasn't he?
And Cam turned up in a Lionel Sanders fan t-shirt and basically being the biggest ultimate fan ever. And so he posted up a photo saying, I wish Lionel would look at me the same way I look at him. Kiss, kiss, smiley face, heart, heart. But he seems to do a lot like that. So he's done another where he's posted, why always the road bike all of a sudden, Lionel? Please excuse me, I'm just a super fan. So yeah, that was brilliant. Another one, he said he was calling out Sebi for drafting. Again, I think it was just in jest, really. There's just a section within the Challenge Roth course where they all sort of bunch at the bottom of the hill, but he's just having fun, just poking
the bear. He does it all the time, and he very often gets a response.
Obviously, the endless trolling of other athletes.
Though.
Yeah, he likes to call Jan the German sausage. Cam's own words. So anyway, he's got a photo he's commented on, one of Jan's photos. He said, loving the attire, your six-pack gone to beep or something. So yeah, he's trying to just
doesn't hold back.
Play mind games, I think. Also, your legs aren't that skinny at the moment, Jan. So yeah, that's quite funny. Also, obviously likes to poke fun at Lionel. He said, when I learn to run with a limp, I'll take my...
I think you can join that camp there, Mark.
just last week.
What would we go for on those?
Oh, it's the look in the eye, isn't it?
Yeah, I like the fact that he's made a real effort in person to turn up to Lionel's session.
In fact, he's racing there as well. He's gone out of his way and race sweet when he's focused.
And got the t-shirt and made an effort to... I mean, in that picture, at least Lionel looks pretty genuinely surprised.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, I know from the outside world, people that don't know Cam, they might think, oh, a horrible person, but actually, he brings a really fun dynamic to triathlon, and the pros do seem to receive it really well. It's just a bit of a laugh, isn't it?
I mean, personally speaking, I think you'd have to have had a sense of humour transplant not to find it funny, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah, but please, vote for your own personal one. Now for our final award, and this is the Balls of Steel Award. So we've got three options here. So we've got Rudy von Berg with his incredible descending in the Ironman 70.3 Worlds in Nice. We've got Cam Wurf, his confidence ahead of the IT World Cup he did at the end of this year. And then we've got Ruth Athel, or Ruth Purbrook, where she broke her collarbone just a few months out from racing in the Ironman World Championships, and then went on to win the overall age group category.
Can I add an impromptu one here?
Yeah.
What about Sarah True collapsing again and again, and then finally getting herself back to Kona?
Let's throw that in 100%.
I must say was determination squared, cubed. Don't know, just looked at determination.
Absolutely.
Most people might have gone, you know what, Oceanside I collapsed, Cairns I collapsed, Frankfurt almost won the thing, and geez, yeah, well done.
And then even in Kona, she had a tough time as well. So, yeah.
Well, okay, so let's narrow it down. Yeah, you just added that one. I think we're coming on to that in a moment as well, Fraser. But we are, I think, going to go with Rudy von Berg for that incredible descending. I think all of us could learn a bit from his skills of going down that mountain in Nice. It was pretty impressive, and he just changed the race dynamics from that descent, didn't he?
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, make your own vote. Go to the link in the description below this video and you can enter the GTN 2020 Triathlon Awards. But now we're on to our predictions for 2020. So we did it last year. Why not keep that trend going? We got quite a few last year.
Oh, that was impressive. Well, I think we covered it in the last show, or a couple of shows ago, and we ticked off 6 of them. We got 3 wrong, and 2 were
that were
outstanding,
just
which I think we're going to carry over.
Yeah. So, should we run through them? So, first one I've written down is Lionel to win the Ironman 70.3 World Championships.
I mean, I think I commented to you just a couple of weeks ago, Mark, after one of the many 70.3s he's won on the trot at the moment. Indian Wells, I think. Just seems to be, when he's right and on it in a 70.3, unbeatable. As far as, I mean, he has been beaten, of course, but right course, right scenario for him.
But it'll be interesting to see, because obviously it's after Hawaii, so whether that will help him or not.
Absolutely, who knows, next November.
And I think it was, I'm trying to remember the year now, 2015 or 2016, he was basically unbeatable at 70.3 racing. And he did a ridiculous number of 70.3s in that year. It was phenomenal. And he's back with that same coach now, so hey, this could be the year. It could be really exciting. It seems like a really good distance for him. The next one we've written down is Gustave Eden to podium at Kona if he was to take a wildcard spot, which we do believe may be of an option. We're speculating.
We might have heard a little birdie tell us. Who knows?
Another one we've gone for is a new Shimano group set. Now, it's been a fair while since the old Dura race has been raced. I think it's about 3 years now. So it tends to sort of work in 2 to 3 years each time they release. So just throwing that one out there.
13 gears, 14 gears.
Who knows? Maybe, like a competitor to the SRAM
that chain gonna get?
Yeah, exactly. An update to the Scott Plasma again. It's another bike that's taken. It's been a brilliant bike, but it's been the same for a fair while now.
Have you seen some pictures?
I can't comment. Next one, we've said Katie Zaferes to win the Olympic Games in Tokyo.
Yeah, I think she's got to be the favourite after this year. If her season carries on, then, I mean, obviously we saw Flora still coming back to fitness, but yeah, taking it right now, I think the bookies' favourite has to be Katie Zaferes, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And then carrying over a couple from last year's predictions, we said Trek to unveil a disc brake ready TT version of the Speed concept. It will come eventually.
I know, I can't. Sam, please, come on, bring it.
You must know the designers. Come on, you can just ask them to like mock something up.
I did ask in Kona, when is it coming? And I didn't get much of a response.
GTN presented to break a world record. Fraser was adamant we wrote this one down, so I'm guessing you have a plan here.
Well, I'm sure, Heather, that we talked at some point about a three-legged record. So
yeah, that was when we were training and like running to same stride rate. But I think my stride rate and speed has got a lot slower than yours recently.
But we thought maybe a mile. We could maybe get. We looked it up. It wasn't that fast. Maybe we're wrong.
I think it didn't seem that fast when we.
Yeah, possibly.
Let's take that one back. But
well, nothing has been planned yet. But I mean, heck, that's a cool challenge.
It could be quite fun.
Christian Blumenfeld to be the first male to win the Triple Crown.
Well, we saw Daniela Ryf do it when it was announced 5 years ago now, 2015.
About 5 years ago.
Quite some time ago. And $1 million is one heck of an incentive. But to be able to win those three big races, Bahrain, which we just had, Dubai, which is going to come up, and then they have to follow that up with winning the World 70.3 champs as well. That's a heck of an ask, as we've seen, because nobody's done it since she did it to begin with.
But I guess for him, like, you were saying, yes, it's Olympics, but with 70.3 Worlds being in November, he's probably got the best chance he's had like in the last few years.
He's just tucked away Bahrain, so who knows?
Yeah. And following Fraser's little algorithm and his thoughts here on Kona, he
standing by it.
So see a previous non-podium winner go and win Kona.
Yeah. So
Kona.
Somebody who wasn't on the podium this year, gonna win next year.
So you're betting against your own normal algorithm.
Yeah, you are. You're betting.
I am. Yeah. To me, Cam Wurf, you can do it. It's fifth. Was he fifth?
Yeah.
Or so you're going to extend it to top 5 for your
I suppose so, but they're going to have to be close to that podium. If it's always been the podium so far, then possibly.
I'm going to throw one more in because someone from our creative team suggested that Zwift are going to release swimming. Yeah, silence yet. It
Do you know so many people ask that on our videos, and they're like, "Where's Zwift swimming? When's Zwift coming?" I mean, with form goggles and things, you could, they could combine with them, and you could end up watching the screen on your goggles whilst you swim. That would be amazing.
True, and you can get underwater screens. So imagine if you're in an endless pool.
Oh, true.
An endless pool, you can have a screen on the bottom.
It's easy, so many options.
I mean, there's not much kit that you need for that, is it?
We should be working for Zwift. I don't know what we're doing here. But yeah, I mean, we'd love to hear from you guys. Any predictions? Anything you think might happen? Drop them in the comment section below.
So we have gone through predictions for next year from the pros' point of view, but we thought it might be a really good idea for us to start nailing our colours to the mast and do what we did about this time last year and give some official-ish goals that we're going to actually stick to.
Rather foolishly as well, I might add.
But it did mean that we decided to get it done, didn't it?
This time last year we'd actually entered our events, but I think you guys have committed to something already.
Kind of, haven't we? Yeah. So it's a race we were speaking about this time last year, actually. We didn't manage to do it, but yeah, so the quadrathlon.
Yeah, no, it's an event that I'd heard of lots over the years in Scotland because it's not far from where I used to train in Stirling. Banks of Loch Tay, they do this really fun swim, run, kayak, bike as well. So it's like a triathlon but mixed up, and you do it in pairs of 2. So I said to Mark, why don't you come and do that with me? Did my very first half Ironman in Loch Tay, so it means quite a lot to me, that area, and I just think it looks like loads of fun. So
it really does.
Very happily being invited to come and do that. So that's next July.
Yeah, and then also something I had forgotten about until now is we may be doing a 70.3 as a team in a relay, quite close to home actually, in a local event in retro gear. So all will be revealed soon in due course. But follow on with you, Fraser. So you've been doing quite a lot of running lately. So is there something in the pipeline?
Yeah, I mean, I do like to just get out and run. It's time efficient. It keeps me active. It keeps me out of mischief.
In time efficient, I mean, I see you go for like out running for hours. I mean, that's like
but I mean, it's just sort of plodding along stuff. But nonetheless, it has made me think. It's been burning along the back of my mind for a while. I did one standalone marathon a couple of years ago. I did one with Heather at the start of this year. We enjoyed doing it, and I thought, why not try and do a marathon that beats sort of the time that I've managed to do up until now, which is not very fast, but I've run a 2:48.
It's mostly off the bike. So
yeah, I've only ever done 2 standalone marathons. Anyway, so I thought, you know what, why not? Let's commit to one. So there's marathons in Manchester and Edinburgh in April and May. I'm thinking one of those 2. So yeah, I think I should say, you know what, let's get a marathon done.
And you've been doing quite more running than normal, starting to build your running up.
Well, I'm trying to build it back up. So I will be very honest, I've never been injured until very recently, and I think it seems like I turned 30 and everything just fell apart, all the nuts and bolts, and I can't find them again.
Welcome to the 30s Club,
I know, there's probably people out there going, mate, I'm 40. You should see what it's like when you get there.
Oh, no.
But anyway, so I've been struggling a little bit actually. So getting through Norseman was pretty tough, keeping things together, and actually just fitting that training in. So whilst I love Norseman, doing 3 disciplines I found pretty hard now. So I'm actually just going to go down the running route. Again, the same as what you think. Running's fantastic. Just head out the door, take your trainers with you, and off you go. And so I've always been really interested in the ultra running, the sky running races that you get worldwide, a lot in the UK. Basically, they run along the peaks of mountains. So it would be like, I don't know, 20k, but it'll take you 6 hours. So they're pretty epic races, and I love that kind of running. So I'm going to get stuck into that, and I'm hoping that will also help train me up for something I'm thinking of doing at the end of the year, which is a Everesting running challenge, which we'll hopefully do for GTN.
Nice, wow.
Now you did some long swims at the back end of this year. Has that meant that you've thought about carrying that on?
Well, I did a 10k swim, which I think I have actually entered that one. Well, someone's entered it for me, and I've kind of not really sort of taken it into account. So that's in September, but that's miles away, so I'm not really, it's with the currents, so I can just float on that one if I want to. But I am thinking of, there's an event which seems really fun. It's a little bit left field for triathlon, but the man v horse, which I know you guys know about. Admittedly though, I want to do the riding part, not the running part. So it's basically a horse and a rider that try and beat the runners, or a few horses and riders. The problem being, I do need to find a horse for that.
Yeah,
one.
we've talked about doing this as a channel, haven't we? So you'll be on the horse, and we will maybe go up against that as we're running.
Well, we'll have to, because I definitely don't know how to ride a
So
horse.
guys, if any of you know like a horse that's kind of good at doing kind of long distance events, then let me know, please.
Yeah, but it's an absolutely amazing event though, isn't it? So I think that like for the last 6 or 7 years, the horse has won it, but a prize purse racks up year on year for the runner to win if they do beat the horse. Really cool race. It's about marathon distance as well. So.
Yeah, no, it sounds cool. And I might, you never know, put 3 sports together and maybe do a triathlon this year as well, but we'll see.
Steady.
I don't want to get too carried away.
Well, that's brilliant though. We've got some fantastic stuff planned for 2020, and we hope you have enjoyed this past year. We've got loads more to come, as you can tell. If you've enjoyed today's show, hit that thumbs up button. If you'd like to see more from GTN, click on the globe and subscribe.
And if you want to have more giggles, some of them are at Fraser, but like we said, it's light-hearted here, then you can check out the GTN bloopers just here.
And if you'd like to see our...
There's some more bloopers.
That's more bloopers.
Right there.
But if you would like to see our Christmas calorie challenge video, you can see that by clicking just down here. Just there, Fraser. Yeah.